Okay, when it comes to muscle testing, guys, intention is key. Seriously, intention is so important. That's why when I asked if something my body was needing was in the fridge, I was picturing, because I have the top and the bottom fridge and freezer, I was picturing the top part of my fridge. And if you guys go back and watch the video, you'll see me kind of look over because my kitchen's right there, and I just kind of glance and I can only see the top part of my fridge. So that's what I was picturing in my head when I asked that question. And if you remember, I got a sort of answer. And it's because it was in the freezer section, which is the bottom one, which I can't see from here because it's on the other side of my kitchen island. So, and that's not what I was thinking in my head. So intention is extremely important when it comes to muscle testing. You can ask a question. Let me think of one where intention is really important. Okay, so maybe you ask the question of, oh my heavens, there's so many different things you can do with intention. Okay, you're asking the question of, does my body need fluid? Okay, you're just keeping it open. Is my body dehydrated? Does it need fluid? Okay, so you ask that question, and in your mind, you're thinking orange juice because it's on the counter. You love orange juice. You were really wanting some earlier today. And so you're thinking, do I need to drink something? Or does my body need to be rehydrated? Does my body need fluid? Any of those questions, and you're picturing or thinking about orange juice. Now your body's going to go, well, no, we don't need orange juice. And you might get a no. But in reality, yes, you did need something. You just needed water. Okay? So that intention is really, really important. I have people who come to see me where the husband will muscle test a question and the wife will muscle test the exact same question, and they get conflicting answers. And so I stop and I ask him, I'm like, well, what were you thinking about? How is this applying to, the question? What was going on in your mind that you wanted to know behind the question? And her answer was completely different than his. And once they realized their intentions were different and they've set the same intention on the question, they both got the same answers. So that intention is really, really important. So if you're asking a question of, we'll dive in a little bit deeper real quick. So if you're asking a question about an emotion, say you are really frustrated and you don't know why, and you're snapping at your kids and you're irritated with your spouse and you're like, I don't know what's going on today. And so you stop and you ask the question, is something making me mad? You get a no. No. Okay, is something really frustrating me? You get a yes. Okay. All right, we're on the right path now. So something is frustrating me. And maybe you think to yourself, so you have this situation that happened maybe at work in your mind, and you ask the question, is work frustrating me? Well, if you're thinking of a specific event in your mind, maybe that wasn't the event that's really causing you frustration right now. Maybe you had a little argument with a coworker and that's what you're thinking of, or a disagreement with a coworker and you're thinking of that. And so when you ask, is work frustrating me? And you get a no, it's because you're actually not muscle testing if work in general is frustrating you. You're actually muscle testing if that experience that you had, that event, is what's causing your frustration. Okay, so you really need to set your intent. Oops, sorry about that. Kicked it with my foot. You really need to set your intention of what it is. So if you are wanting to know if work in general is frustrating you, then you would just kind of think to yourself, okay, is there anything at work that is causing this frustration? And then muscle test without thinking of specific people or without thinking of specific events. Okay. And what's really interesting is sometimes you'll be muscle testing, especially after you practice and you get really good at this, and you'll come up with an answer and you're like, that's not what I thought the answer would be. And then stop and think, okay, well, what was I thinking about when I asked that? And make sure that your intention really was where it needed to be for you to ask that question. Because if you feel something is off, trust yourself. Seriously, trust yourself. Something is off. Maybe you need to word the question differently. Maybe your intention was something different than what came out of your mouth. So trust yourself, you guys. If you feel something is off and you're like, oh, that answer doesn't feel right, ask again, try again, change your intention, and really focus in on that. Okay. I cannot really stress enough how important intention is with asking questions, because that will set you up to fail or it will set you up for success with your intention behind the questions. If your intention is to get information about somebody or something, or something mean or negative about somebody, you're probably not going to get good answers. Okay. And you're not going to get reliable answers. If your intention behind asking questions is to help somebody or to love them or see something that they need, odds are you're going to get answers too, because that intention is just so important. And we'll talk about testing on other people in just a little bit, but focus on your intention. I know this seems like a lot between the body movements, the intention, and now we're going to start in on the questions. I promise this gets so easy once you guys start practicing. Okay. All right.